Hi, I'm Mike Singletary. The other Mike Singletary, owner of Singletary's Furniture.
Whether looking for the perfect piece or an entire room, Singletary's large inventory of quality brands makes shopping easy. Our friendly staff will gladly assist you with decorating ideas, financing, and free delivery in the area. And everyday low prices and customer satisfaction is always our goal.
Price, selection, and quality are very important at Singletary's Furniture, and we got prices you can bear.
What a thrill it was last Friday night to watch our football team capture the District 8 4A championship over at Azle. My goodness, I don't know that we could have been any more excited than we were as we watched the team give tremendous effort and play an Azle team that certainly gave a great deal of effort as well. But very, very proud of our football team as they came away with that district championship, the first one in their lifetime that Weatherford has earned, and certainly our players deserve all the credit for all their hard work, not only during the season, but certainly in the off-season months, all that time that was spent in the PDC and all the extra time that they gave and the work that they did to prepare themselves and get themselves in a position where they could compete for a district championship. We're just so very proud of them, and it was a great thrill as we, after that ball game, Dr. Bryce made some comments and congratulated the team and certainly indicated to them that that was only the first step of a long journey to earn not only a district championship, but a state championship. And yes, that is possible. That is very possible, and something that our football team is looking forward to, the great privilege and the great opportunity to enter the playoffs, enter as a district champion, enter the playoffs with an opportunity to fight and compete for a state championship. You know, each and every week of the playoffs is really a state championship game in itself, because if you don't win that first one, you don't have an opportunity to play for that final game. And that's something that we hope our football team can grasp and understand, that each and every playoff game is indeed a state championship game in itself. It's the team that has the capacity to understand that, prepare that way, and compete and play that way more often wins that final game than those who really don't understand it. So quite an exciting time for Weatherford High School football. Again, so very proud of our football team for what they have accomplished to this time. 8-1, one more regular season game to play. That's our final home game next week against the Northwest Texans. And certainly a game that is very important for us, because we need desperately to keep the momentum going. We want to win 9 in a row going into the playoffs. We want to have all those things that you need to have in place, the positive state of mind and the momentum and the confidence and the continued improvement of play in every phase of the game. Those are the things we need to do this week as we get ready and play Northwest, and we need to perform in a way that is worthy of champions as we play against them this Friday night in our final regular season home game. What a thrill it's going to be in the playoffs, though, and we look forward to that and hope that you do as well, and we anticipate a great crowd this Friday night as Northwest comes to town, and then as we enter the playoffs, certainly anticipate all the great Roo fans that you've been so great all year long, and we anticipate you carrying us through the playoffs with a great deal of excitement and enthusiasm. I know that anytime you go in the playoffs, you're anxious and looking forward to that, and in so doing, we have a lot of work to do in preparing for whoever we may end up playing. We still anticipate that it's more than likely to be Denton. The Denton team defeated Wichita Falls Ryder last Friday night. The only way that Ryder can get in the playoffs is to beat Wichita Falls High School this coming Friday night, so that will be a big game. We'll have scouts on hand to watch that game, as well as to observe and watch Denton in their final game against Denton Ryan. Very exciting times, and certainly we look forward to all the thrills that the chase for the big gold ball, the chase for the state championship ring has to offer, and it certainly is a possibility that championship trophy and those championship rings could come to the city of Weatherford. What a thrill that would be. What a great, awesome accomplishment that would be for our football team, and it's something that is indeed a possibility, and it can happen depending on, as we stated earlier, the team that prepares the best, the team that understands that each and every Friday night is a state championship game in itself. a great time to be a part of Weatherford football. It's a thrilling time, certainly for all of us, and we thank you for all the support and thank you for the opportunity to be able to come to you each and every week.
Hi, I'm Mike Singletary of Singletary's Furniture. You know, there's only one thing more relaxing than fishing, and that's kicking back in a good recliner. At Singletary's Furniture, we have a full selection of top quality recliners, such as Flex Steel, Best Chairs, Azle, and Lazy Boy. Come by and see how great these recliners are, because once you sit in them, you're never going to want to get out of them. Catch the big savings at Singletary's Furniture, 1215 Highway 180 West in Weatherford.
As we get ready for our final home regular season game of the year against Northwest, we would not be justice to not salute the seniors of this football team for all the hard work and all the things that they've done to get us to this point, to get us to where we are in our football program. And these guys have worked very, very hard. Many of them have spent countless hours in the weight room and working to improve themselves physically. They spent time studying video. They spent time leading our football team in all phases of the game to get us to where we are at this time. And we want to take this moment to salute our seniors and certainly their parents for all the sacrifices they have made to allow their sons to be with us as much as they have and to do the things on their own time that they have to become the best that they can be. And we still got room for improvement, but certainly our senior class deserves a tremendous amount of credit for what has happened this football season, to lead this football team to the point that we are right now, district champions of 8-4A, going into the playoffs, hopefully with a 9-1 record if we take care of business this week against Northwest. And just a tremendous accomplishment for this senior class in leading this football team. And they have done an outstanding job of that. Not real vocal with their leadership, but they lead by example and by the attitude they've displayed. And we're so very, very proud of our senior class and what a great time it is for them as they lead our football team into the playoffs.
I'm Mike Singletary. Everyone knows I love to rough it in the great outdoors. But sometimes it's hard to get a good night's rest sleeping on this hard ground. I sure miss my Sealy mattress.
Where'd you like the new mattress, Mr. Singletary?
Just put it in the tent. Come check out a wide selection of fine Sealy mattresses at everyday low prices at Singletary's Furniture.
Dad, Mom said it's time to come in for supper.
The following is a Nothing But Sports production.
Hello everyone, I'm Bob Tallman for Nothing But Sports with another exciting game of the #1 pastime in Texas, high school football. In a minute, we're going to take a look at the scouting reports, the coaches spotlight, and the keys to the game. But right now, let's recap last week's action that you can't afford to miss. Let's go down to Sean McQuinn. It's touchdown time. want to go inside the helmets and look at this week's players' scouting reports, the coaches' spotlights. Huddle up, everybody. Don't leave the field.
Honey, can you pay these bills? It won't take you very long if you use Texas Banker Online.
Sure. Girls, I'll be right back.
Texas Banker Online, a simple and secure way to bank over the internet with no service charge. Now you can pay bills quickly and conveniently from the comfort of your own home with Texas Banker Online.
That was quick.
Yeah, that Texas Banker Online is really simple. Whose turn is it anyways?
Texas Banker Online, a product from Texas Bank. Plug in now.
They dress him up like a ghost and he's looking through and it's Halloween and he's walking around like this.
My parents told me to go swimming, and I was like, no.
You love watching movies, and Blockbuster thinks you should be rewarded for that with Blockbuster Rewards, where the more movies you rent, the more free ones you get. Plus, get a free Blockbuster Favorites movie every month.
He got on top of that bomb just like it was a horse. He was going to ride that rascal all right on into where it was going.
Join Blockbuster Rewards today and go home happy.
Hello everyone, I'm Sean McQuinn for Nothing But Sports Productions. Today's game will be at Hornet Stadium in Azle for a District 8-4A game between the visiting Weatherford Kangaroos and the home team Azle Hornets. The Weatherford Kangaroos come in with a season record of 7 wins against only 1 loss. Offensively, the Roos averaged 318 yards rushing per game, 48 yards passing for a total of 365 yards per game. They're really rolling on offense. They've scored 30 points in 7 straight games, and that hits their average. They average 30 points per game. Defensively, the Roos allow an average of 169 rushing yards per game and 105 passing yards per game, while giving up only 11 points per game on the season. Here's what Weatherford head coach Larry McBroom had to say about the upcoming opponent, the Azle Hornets. He said the Hornets play harder than any opponent the Roos have faced to date. They run an option offense that is almost identical to Springtown, but they have better skill players this year. Their defense runs to the football and is very physical. Offensively, again this week, we will have to keep the ball away from the opponent's offense to win the ballgame. The Root offensive line has continued to improve and is approaching the dominance we strive for. Our passing game is coming around and could be the key to winning the district title this Friday. Defensively, to win the Roos' first district title in 18 years, the defense must once again rise to the occasion. Azle will run the triple option from a variety of sets and has the best running back in Michael Barella that we have seen since Stephenville. Tremendous effort and tackling will carry the Roos defense to a successful night.
Welcome back, everybody. In order to play successful football, you have to be tough on the football field, both mentally and physically. But what about off the field? Let's take a look.
Number 18 for the Weatherford Kangaroos is wide receiver defensive back Barrett Weaver. He's a senior, 6 foot, 169 pounds. His favorite academic subject in school is physics. His hobbies and interests include baseball, football, sports, and hunting. We asked him what he would do to be a champion. He said, give 100% effort and full attention all the time. We asked him what are some of his career goals, and he said, play college ball, study in sports medicine, pursue other baseball chances. That's Barrett Weaver, number 18 for the Weatherford Kangaroos. Now let's take a look at number 21, Chuck Wilkie of the Weatherford Kangaroos. He's 6 foot tall and 165 pounds. We asked him what some of his hobbies and interests include, and he said rebuilding Mustangs, collecting cards, and any type of competition. Some of his career goals include getting a doctorate in sports medicine, competing in the decathlon for the United States, and also to compete in the Ironman competition. You'll like this. We asked, what would you do to be a champion? He said he would give everything I've got from all that I've got every time I need to give it, plus more. That's Chuck Wilkie, number 21 of the Weatherford Kangaroos. Now let's take a look at number 35 for the Weatherford Kangaroos. That's Garrett Hudson. He plays fullback and defensive back. He's a senior at 5'11 and 180 pounds. His hobbies and interests include hunting and fishing. We asked him what he would do to be a champion. He said, just win, baby. His career goals in the future is to become a lawyer. And Garrett also participates in baseball. Number 35, Garrett Hudson for the Weatherford Kangaroos. Now let's take a look at number 55 of the Weatherford Kangaroos. 6'1", 215 pounds, Daniel Connell. We asked him what are some of his hobbies and interests, and he said football, drawing, computers, video games, reading, driving around, watching TV, going out with his girlfriend, and he said basically anything that doesn't involve work. Very diverse, Daniel Connell. We asked him what some of his future goals are, and he said to be a pro football player, an artist, or a computer animator. We asked him what he would do to be a champion. He said set the proper goals and prepare for them and work very hard. That's Daniel Connell of the Weatherford Kangaroos. Let's take a look at Coach Larry McBroom for Weatherford. He's the head coach for the Roos. We look back at some of his moments in his career. 1973 through 1975, he was a student coach at Ada, Oklahoma. 76 through 79, the assistant coach at Ada. 1980 through 1995, he was the head coach at Ada, Oklahoma. And of course, 1996 to the present time, he's the head coach of the Weatherford Kangaroos. Well, he played for Ada, Oklahoma in his high school career back in 1968 through 1970. He went to college, majoring in college, accounting, and math education. Some of his hobbies include jogging, yard work, and family time. Most memorable moment in his sports career, 40 consecutive wins and 7 state championships. That's head coach Larry McBroom for the Weatherford Kangaroos.
Today's game is being brought to you by Texas Bank. With us, it's personal. And by the New Car Dealers, backing the Roo Crew in '99. That concludes this week's NBSP Scouting Reports, and we'll be back in a moment on location with the big showdown. Stay with us.
Well, the Kangaroos won the toss, and they have elected to defer until the second half, which they usually do. And it appears they will be kicking off to the Azle Hornets. And, of course, Jeremy McClure will be out, and he will place the ball down at the 40-yard line.
Randy, we've got a lot of wind tonight, blowing primarily from east to west, and those Roo flags sure look good on the other side.
And the Kangaroos will be kicking to the west here at Hornets Field. And back deep will be Josh Wilson, also Kyle Hoover for the Hornets, and Michael Borrello. So we're just about ready to get Kangaroo football going again. Kangaroos looking for their 8th victory in a row. The Azle Hornets, they're looking for 5 in a row, and here is the kickoff. Jeremy McClure will kick it back to around the 5-yard line where Borrella has it, and he hands it off. And that is Kyle Hoover coming to the right side. He has a good hole, and he will get out across the 35-yard line before he is tackled. And it will be relatively good field position for the Hornets to start it out here tonight.
Randy, let's take a look at our defensive players for tonight. We have 71 Merritt, Safford, Tidwell, Such, Cope, and Day. Linebackers, Carlisle, Such, McClure, Marin, Stroud, and Hammerman. Defensive backs, Wilkie, Clay, Weaver, Borland, Riddle, Weeks, and McDaniel.
Here's the first play for the Hornets, and they will get out across the 35, out to around the 37-yard line. That will be a gain of about 2, and I think that was Barella carrying the ball for the Hornets. Barella is a senior, spent a lot of time on the injured list the last couple of years for Azle, but he is back, and right now he is their #1 man in the backfield. We'll see the quarterback, that is Kyle Betts, and he took over for Hoover, who had been the quarterback earlier in the year. Betts, not very big, about 5'8", 150. Does not make many mistakes, according to Coach Rushing. Here's Barella to the outside, and he's trying to fight across the 40, and finally does. There were a number of Roos over there, including Kane Riddle and also Chuck Wilkie. Tidwell was there from his defensive tackle position. He still has the cast on.
Randy, he did do a good job of avoiding a couple of Roos there, but the speed of the Roo defense finally caught up with him. He ended up having 5 or 6 players over there to finish off the tackle.
We'll have a 3rd down and about 4 yards to go for the Hornets. They have 2 receivers out there in the flex bone. Here's a pass that is partially deflected, I believe, by Clay, and then in and out of the hands of number 10. That is Kyle Ware, and that is incomplete. So the Kangaroos come out and stop the Hornets. Now the Hornets, they have been averaging less than 200 yards per game on offense. They are not a juggernaut. They're a fairly young team, much like the Roos. The Roos have got a lot of players out there that are juniors that will be back next year, and so does the Hornets. Here's the snap back, and we have a punt that will hit right at the 32 or 3 yard line and go out of bounds.
Well, that's great field position for the Roos, Randy.
So the Kangaroos will start at the 33. You're right, Mark, that is pretty good field position, and the Kangaroos have got a chance now to make something happen early. They're in their black pants with their white jerseys. They have their blue helmet on and the big W on the side. Azle is in solid green, and they have the big A on the side of the helmet. Here's the first play for the Roos. 1 man in the backfield, that is Pierce. And Zach Moore will fake it to Pierce, run to the right side, cut inside of his tackle on the right side, and he'll get out across the 35, a gain of approximately 4 yards.
Randy, this is the matchup that we've been talking about all week, whether the Azle defense will be able to stop that potent Roo offense. So great start for the Roos, first down, picking up a quick 4 yards.
2nd down and 6 for the Kangaroos of Weatherford, and what a night here in Azle. A huge crowd. Here is the pitch out. And it goes to Pierce. He's going to pick it up, and he's going to get back some of the yardage, but not all of it. He'll be run out of bounds around the 30-yard line.
Man, Randy, you should have seen Zach Moore come across there and powder number 77 for the Azle Hornets. I know Zach's got to be outweighed 35, maybe 40 pounds against that defensive tackle, and Zach just powdered him. He put him flat on the ground.
You know, that's that left side pitch out that we talk about so much, Mark Reeby. It's a little bit more awkward than pitching the ball out to the right side, because most of your people in the backfield are right-handed. 3rd down and 13 from the 30. Offset is to the left side. Here's Pierce. He'll take the handoff and get about 3 or 4 yards. We also have a penalty flag down and probably a motion call against the Roos.
Well, I don't know. It looked like maybe Azle might have jumped on that one, Randy. Let's see.
And Mark Reeby, of course, somewhat biased, as we all are, for the Roos. It will be against the Kangaroos, and they will bring their punt team in. And Mark, our punting unit has done a great job. Last week, Garrett Hudson averaged 45 yards a punt. And we just don't allow any big returns. We haven't all year.
Yeah, Garrett's been very solid punting the ball, and also our defensive players going down to cover that punt have been getting down there in a hurry.
And a very high punt. Here is Ware. He will receive it at the 30-yard line, and he's not going to get much because down there holding on to his leg is Kane Riddle. And Riddle again down early on the punt return team, and the Azle Hornets will start out from the 33. So looks like the 33-yard line very popular here early in the contest.
Well, Randy, there's a good example of that punt coverage. As soon as the receiver caught the ball, he had Kane Riddle and Michael Branch staring him in the face. And you're not going to have many run backs with that kind of coverage.
1st and 10 for the Hornets from their own 33. And here is the mesh in the middle, and following the fullback right into the center of the line is the quarterback, Betts. He might get a yard at the 35.
Well, we had a whole host of roos plugging up the middle there. Danny Merritt, Scott Safford, Craig Boney all doing a good job of holding that run to just a minimal amount of gain.
2nd down, about 8 yards to go for the Azle Hornets. They will have the flex bone this time with Betts carrying. He's going to keep it himself, and he'll go down around the 37 as he is just flipped over. Over there was Shanahan, also Tidwell and Clay.
And Danny Merritt just came around and caught him by the shoulders and spun him around right on his back.
And they will bring in Michael Branch now on the right side. Boy, it's been a long time, Mark, since anyone has scored a point against this defense.
And Randy, this is one of the reasons that the Roos have been so successful is these 3rd and long situations. We've got five yards for them to make a 1st down here.
Here's the next play, and it will go to the fullback over the middle as Kyle Betts just stuffs it in his gut on that mesh, and that's all done according to what the defensive tackles of Weatherford do. And evidently he thought they were going to move to the outside, but it's going to be short by 2 yards at the 41. And now they will go back to punt again. We'll have Garrett Hudson, also Colt Borland back around the 30-yard line for the Kangaroos. Early in the game, 6:53 in the 1st quarter. There is no score. Here's a wobbly kick. This will be returned. Borland has it at the 30, 35, and then it's going to be flattened very decidedly around the 37-yard line. And so that's where the Kangaroos will start, so they gain a little bit field position on this series.
Randy, you know, the past couple of games, the Roos have come out in their first opening drive, sputtered a little bit, and then the second drive they've gone straight on in to score. So sure would like to see them continue that trend that they've had the last couple of games.
Well, the Hornets have played very well defensively the last few weeks. They had the Northwest Texans shut out until the 4th quarter. They gave up only 1 first down in the 1st half. Here are the Roos with Mark Pierce.
And he finds a hole.
Mark 40. Murray's at midfield.
No way.
He's at the 40.
He's gone.
10, 5. Woo! Kangas drives his way in for a touchdown. How about them apples?
Second time we got the ball.
Oh, right off left guard and tackle, and he was touched around the line of scrimmage, but then he just turned it on, and he broke clear around the 45 of the Hornets, and nobody's run him down from behind yet. A big run by Mark Pierce, and suddenly Kangaroos jump on top again.
What was that, Don? Maybe about 60 yards? 62 yards.
Jeremy McClure, here is the kick. And that one will go up, and it is in. And the Roos, 7, Azle nothing. We'll be right back with more Kangaroo football in just a minute.
Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet. Tuffet Muffet. She would have sat on anything. She was so wasted.
Your future is a long and winding road. There are many options, many distractions, many twists and turns you can take on the way. Your future is out there. Need directions? Weatherford College can help you get exactly where you want to go. So contact us today. At Weatherford College, our grads go places.
Al, Super Save Produce Buyer, line 1.
Dave, yeah, 20 truckloads of grade A direct from my orchards today at 20% below market price. You know, Dave, you could advertise a lower price if you bought my grade B. Yeah, but there's not that much difference. But it's good enough for your competitors. 20 truckloads.
Super Save's low price gets you the good stuff.
Okay, the good stuff.
Kangaroos have jumped on top 7-0, and that is just an example of how quickly Weatherford can strike. And Azle gets a dose of it here in the first quarter, a 62-yarder by Mark Pierce. Here's the kickoff, going back to the goal line, out to the 15, the 20, to the 25, 24-yard line, or no, he's going to be down at the 21-yard line. That is a Josh Wilson for Azle. And, you know, we were talking about, Don, you just mentioned a moment ago that it is just amazing to watch Mark Pierce hit the hole. And he doesn't hesitate at all. Once he sees that crease, he is gone.
He does take off and have some acceleration.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about during the break. And I mean, it's just like the starter's gun went off. You know, as soon as he gets to that spot and he sees that hole and he sees an opportunity to make a long run like that, you know, he put it in another gear and just outran two guys that were on either side of him to the point where they tried an ankle tackle, but it didn't work out for them. They didn't get him down.
And that was a nice wide hole that he got to go through that time. That left side of the line over there, I believe that's Killian and Jason Such just did a great job of opening that up.
Well, we have a penalty on the kickoff against the Kangaroos, and they will move the ball out to the 36. And evidently it was a personal foul, or perhaps he had unsportsmanlike conduct, but nonetheless, the ball is out to the 36. 6:25 to go in the first quarter, and the Kangaroos are leading the Azle Hornets. If they win tonight, they are the champions.
Well, Randy, that's a great way to get started on that winning streak there with that long touchdown run by Pierce.
And I don't believe that the Azle Hornets have given up that many long plays in the last several weeks. 1st and 10, here is Betts. He will pitch it out to Barella, who makes a nice cut, but he is going to be stormed under around the 38-yard line. We have another penalty flag down and perhaps a face mask against Weatherford. You don't want to make a number of mistakes here and give the Hornets some confidence and good field position.
Randy, that looked like that was kind of an inadvertent face mask, so we definitely weren't trying to tackle him by the face mask, and just one of those cases where your hand glanced across the face mask, and they're going to call it anytime it's close. So
now that was the veer that time that the Hornets used when they don't mesh with the fullback and they run outside the guard and tackle quickly and put pressure on the defensive end, and on that particular side that they are attacking, you know that is the veer. This time they will have two men in the backfield with a flanker to the right side. They'll pitch it back, and they'll get 2 or 3 yards. It'll be near the point needed for the first down out at the 47-yard line on the Azle end of the field.
Boy, Jason Such doing a good job over on that left-hand side of the line of clogging things up. He's taking on a good-sized double team there, fighting through it, still getting in on the play.
That was Reggie Hill carrying for the Hornets. And it was a first down, the ball at the 47. And this is a little different alignment right here they're running. Here is Betts, and he will follow the fullback through the middle across midfield. And he just sticks it in, pulls it out, and then follows the fullback if he sees a hole, and he got about 5 or 6 yards down to the Kangaroo 46.
Randy, that's a little different version of that option play than we've seen in the past, where he's literally just letting the back that he's faking the handoff to go ahead and block for him, and then opening that hole up a little wider.
And here's a true wishbone, and this will go to the fullback. He'll get about 3 or 4 yards across the 45, down to the 43. There's Danny Merritt, Safford right there to make the tackle, 2nd down or 3rd down, and still perhaps a half a yard according to where they mark it.
Yeah, it's not going to be very far for the 1st down here.
And they run a very tight wishbone. They don't throw the ball much, but we do know that Betts can throw it if he has to. And occasionally we will see him fake in the backfield and take 2 or 3 steps back and throw some short passes. Normally they don't throw long. And here is a blast play. Right side, it'll be a 1st down across the 40-yard line down to the 39 as this one goes to Kyle Hoover. And we mentioned that Kyle Hoover was the starting quarterback, and Coach Gary Rushing told me today that he is a very good quarterback. It just so happens that Kyle Betts fits Rushing's program just a little better, and Kyle Betts does not make any kind of mistakes. He handles the ball well. He's only 5'8", 150, and he runs a 5 flat, so he's not much of a danger as far as going all the way on you. Here's the next handoff. This is inside of the fullback. Very methodical attack, and this is the same kind of attack we will see next week by Northwest. A gain of about 2 or 3 yards down to the Kangaroo 37-yard line.
Well, a good tackle in there by number 37, Keith Such, and also Chuck Wilkie coming in to finish the play off there. Randy, one of the things that I've been noticing is that the Azle backs, even when they get hit, are leaning forward for that extra yard, so the Roos are going to have to really stick it to them here.
They're a tough outfit. Here's the flex bone, and it'll come back this way, and it'll be Barella breaking a couple of tackles. He can do that. Gets down across the 35, down to the 31-yard line, and that will be a gain of about 6 yards. He was met right at the line of scrimmage, but Barella, we have seen him over the last 3 years. When he is healthy, he's one of the more dangerous backs in 8-4A. 3rd down, about 1. They'll have to get to the 30 of Weatherford. 3:32 to go in the 1st quarter. Wishbone, 1 receiver to the left side, and here's Barella driving across the 30. As again, they use an ISO play off the left guard and tackle of the Hornets. And it will be close to the point needed. I believe it is a 1st down. They are going to take a quick timeout here to measure.
That's so close, it's going to be hard to tell. I think only Don Legale could really tell from this distance.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to tell you right now that Don Legale has presented us with a sealed envelope, Mark Reeby. And inside this envelope is the answer to everything you want to know about tonight's ball game. And at the end of the game, we will open the envelope and see just how close Mr. Don Legale. Boy, he has a lot of confidence, Mark. You've got to give him credit.
He's going out on a limb, isn't he?
And we will save this sealed envelope. We want to thank all of our Weatherford Kangaroo sponsors. And it was a 1st down for Azle. Job Site Sales, Roger Williams, First National Bank, the Weatherford Democrat, Custom Homes by Noah, Taco Bueno, the Weatherford Municipal Utilities, Harkness Printing, Sonic, Whataburger, Lone Star Furniture, Malt Shop, Weatherford Physical Therapy, 1st and 10 for the Hornets from the Kangaroo 30. Here is the first man with the ball. This will be the fullback, and he will get 3 or 4 yards on the left side. Not anything fancy here. This is just straight wishbone football right now. A gain of about 3 yards down to the 26. Let's call it a gain of 4. That was Chad Huffsey. Now, Chad Huffsey's got good speed from fullback. You've got to have a fullback that can break it all the way, and you've got to give him the ball if you're going to make that wishbone work. They'll put a man in motion. And inside, and this is going to be stuffed as Kane Riddle comes in. And this time, Betts pulled the ball out of the hands of the fullback. And before he could get moving, there was Kane Riddle. That's a yard loss.
Had Craig Boney in on that tackle also, Randy, and that's exactly what the Roos needed right here. Put them in a position where it's 3rd and long instead of having those 3rd and short opportunities to make a first down.
3rd and 7. We want to thank Southwest Ford, the First National Bank. Unlimited tinting, Jerry's. Here is the play. Back goes Betts. He's got some time to throw it. Throws one over the head of the intended receiver around the 20-yard line of the Kangaroos. That was Kyle Hoover. But a little long, and now we'll have a 4th down play. And what will the Azle Hornets do here, Mr. Reeby?
Well, I don't know. I would say they're awful deep in our territory. They're sure not going to punt. I just don't know whether they got a field goal kicker and kick that thing that long.
Kangaroos lead at 7-0. 1:49 to go. We're in the first quarter.
Looks like we're going for it here.
They come out in the flex bowl, and they'll have one receiver to the right side. In motion is Barella. Rolling to the right is Kyle Betts. Here's the ball thrown back to Barella. He's in trouble. He's down.
Good
and
job.
right there is Jeremy McClure with another big play for the Kangaroos. Back at the 36-yard line, a big loss. And the Roos again have bent, but not broken.
How many times have we said that over the last couple of games, Randy? I tell you what, the defense has really stepped it up the last 3 or 4 games.
And Mark Reeby, we were talking about how intelligent left-handers are, and you know, when Jeremy McClure makes a big play like that, he looks awfully smart.
Well, he is awfully smart, whether he's left-handed or not. Here we go.
1st and 10 for the Roos. And they'll have 1 man in the backfield, and it will be Pierce, and he'll get the ball, and he'll run to the left side, and he's going to get a yard or 2. And we see a penalty flag come down also on the play. The ball is going to be marked around the 36 or 7-yard line of Weatherford. But, you know, last week we didn't have the holding calls against the Kangaroos, as they seem to have solved that problem against Boswell.
Well, they look like they're talking to us.
We have 1 minute and 26 seconds to go in the first quarter.
They're waving it off.
And they are going to wave the flag off. And I guess if there's no infraction, you might as well wave it off.
Well, if there's no infraction, you shouldn't throw the flag. That's.
And again, Mark, you're expecting perfection.
Only from the refs.
2nd down and 9. The ball is out across the 36 of Weatherford. They lead it 7-0. Chad Legale comes to the right side. They'll have Pierce and also Garrett Hudson out on a flank. And we got a receiver over on the other side of the field. And I think Colt at that time just thought that the snap was going to be a little bit quicker. And this will be a 5-yard penalty against the Kangaroos. So 2nd down and 15 coming up.
Well, Randy, we've overcome 5-yard penalties before. The Roos have got two downs to do it in here, 2nd and 3rd down. So if we get about 6 or 8 yards on this first play and then another 7 or 8 yards on that, we'll have another first down.
Let's call it 2nd down and 15 for Weatherford. And again, Legale will come to Legale will go to the right side and Bolin to the left. And here's a handoff to Pierce.
Wait, Mark, get out here, Mark.
He has a slide hold. He'll get out to the 35, and then he'll be wrapped up and driven back. And I'm sure you can hear the Hornet crowd here. They are supporting their team tonight in fine fashion. A huge crowd here on the Hornet side, and we're right above them. So you'll probably be able to hear the Hornet fans much better than the Kangaroo fans tonight.
Randy, the Azle defense got a taste of Mark Pierce in this first quarter already. Obviously, they're continuing to key on him. And last week when Boswell did that against the Roos, Coach McBroom soon went to several of the other players, both Zach Moore and Garrett Hudson.
3rd down and 11, shotgun formation. Here is Zach Moore. He will roll to the left and try to get to the outside.
There we go. There we go.
45.
That's it.
And he may have a first down. Boy, when he turns it on and turns that corner, he is like a rocket taking off. He got some good blocking on the left side of the line that time, and he was determined, Mark, that he was going to just turn it on and give it everything he had. And he shot through a number of the defensive players of the Hornets that time, and it is a first down out across the 47 of Weatherford.
Randy, imagine how demoralizing that is for a team to have 3rd and 11 or 3rd and 12, and Zach Moore makes that entire run by himself there.
3 seconds to go in the first quarter. And the I backfield.
Here
is Pierce breaking tackles again at the line of scrimmage. He'll get across midfield and down to the 47 of the Azle Hornets. Well, that will end the first quarter with a score. The Weatherford Kangaroos 7, the Azle Hornets nothing. We'll be right back with more Kangaroo football in just 1 minute.
Honey, can you pay these bills? It won't take you very long if you use Texas Banker Online.
Sure. Girls, I'll be right back.
Texas Banker Online, a simple and secure way to bank over the internet with no service charge. Now you can pay bills quickly and conveniently from the comfort of your own home with Texas Banker Online.
That was quick.
Yeah, that Texas Banker Online is really simple. Whose turn is it anyways?
Texas Banker Online, a product from Texas Bank. Plug in now.
Can I have a puppy? What do you mean Ground's never coming back? Why does she get to stay up? Where do babies come from? Did you smoke marijuana when you were my age?
The older they get, the more complicated the questions. Here's how to answer.
Hello, I'm Don Cressman, candidate for District Judge for the 43rd Judicial District of Texas. I'm here today to ask you to do 2 things. First, I want you to support the Weatherford Kangaroos. Second, I want you to vote for me on the March 14, 2000 primary for District Judge. Thanks a lot.
Welcome back to Kangaroo football on KZ 1220, your sports center. We're at Hornetsville in Azle right now. We're about to get the second quarter underway. The Roos are leading it 7-0. A 62-yard run in the first quarter by Mark Pierce, and that puts him beyond what he was able to get against Boswell last week. He ended up with only 55, and that was his smallest production of the year. And the Hornets definitely shadowing him, and they're trying to shut him down too, but he broke that one, and now the Kangaroos have a second down and about 4.5 yards to go for the first down. They're at the Hornet 46.
Randy, we've got Michael Branch in for Jason Such right now, and Bradley Simmons on left guard, Michael Ross, Jose Antillion, and Joe Hosh on the line.
2 receivers to the right side. The offset is to the right. And
Get
the
it up.
handoff is to
Attaboy.
Pierce, and he's breaking tackles.
Here we
He's
go.
across the 35.
That's
at
it.
30. Down to the 20. Down to the 10-yard line. Woo! And I can't even describe that play. It was such a fantastic run by Mark Pierce, but it looked like he was going down, folks, near the line of scrimmage. Somehow he was able to spin out. He kept his balance. I think he put his hand on the ground, actually, to recover his balance, and then broke a couple of more tackles around the 30-yard line of the Hornets, and then took off, shot to the outside, and he almost took that one all the way.
One more example, Randy, of how you can't tackle Mark Pierce with just one player.
You know, one of these days he's going to pull off that jersey, and there'll be just a big giant S on his chest. Offset to the right from the 10-yard line. Here's the handoff. Here is Mark. 5. He's going in for another Roo touchdown.
Woo! Boy, they just blew out the middle of that line. Bradley Simmons and Michael Ross and Jose Antillion just doing a good job of opening a wide hole, and Mark just strolled into the end zone.
And they unleashed Mark Pierce on the Hornet defense, and they are getting a full dose here in the first half of Mark Pierce.
Boy, just a great job of blocking out there by the Roos. Opening up that hole, and Mark running hard the entire time.
McClure will come in with a bolt with a Colt Borland holding at the 10-yard line, and here is the kick. He goes up, and the left foot sends it through. We do have a penalty flag on the play. But a big hole opening up in the middle that time for the touchdown, but really what set it up was that long run previously. And that's one of the more remarkable runs that we have seen Mark Pierce have this year, and he just continues to do it game after game.
He does that, Randy, but also a key play on that drive was the run that Zach Moore made on 3rd and 12, where he went around that left side of the Rue line and just turned the Jets on and managed to make about 13 or 14 yards. And you could tell that kind of took the air out of the Azle defense a little.
Another good opportunity here to mention everybody. You got a chance to watch the Roos on local cable next week, Wednesday, Thursday nights, usually when it comes on, and that's a play you're going to want to watch and see.
I hope that they rerun that several times for the folks.
And I'm not sure if it was the draw play that they have been running so successfully, and on that play, if it is the draw, you have the guard and tackle trapping on each side, and then Ross, the center, will either help on one of the defensive tackles, or he will get out and double on the middle linebacker with the offset back, and that's normally Garrett Hudson or Kane Riddle. But what a great job. Hudson was in there that time, so there had to be some really good blocking also. And then, of course, good blocking right up the middle on the 10-yard run for the touchdown. It's 14-0. The Kangaroos are leading, and the wind is really blowing around right now. It's coming in from the south and just blows the ball right off the tee.
Randy, one of the things that we have noticed this year with the Roos is that as the game goes on, they keep getting stronger and stronger, and I think that Azle's already starting to feel that, even though we're in the early minutes of the second quarter.
Jeremy McClure will kick off, and again,
Don,
they have to have Colt Borland come down and hold it for him.
Don, go out there and hold that for them.
As again, it blows off the tee. Kangaroo fans on the other side are really pumped up right now, and a lot of them are standing as McClure sets it up again with 11:24 to go in the second quarter, and a 2-touchdown lead for the Roos tonight. A victory, and they are the champions of 8-4A. And if they win next week against Northwest, they will equal the all-time best record in regular season for a Kangaroo football team. What a season. Here's the kickoff. A pooch kick, right side. Ware has it at the 20-yard line. He'll spin around and head upfield across the 25, the 30, nice hole,
what a hit.
and out to the 35, and he is spun down right there.
Randy, there's some really hard hitting going on out there as those teams are coming down for that kickoff return. Well, the Roos are heading upfield in a hurry, and the Azle Hornets are really laying some leather on those Roos as they come down.
We want to thank the Malt Shop, also Apache Motorcycle, Jerry's, Mesquite Pit, First National Bank, the Sonic, Southwest Ford, Lone Star Furniture, Taco Bueno. First and 10 for the Hornets now from their own 36. Right side to Reggie Hill. He'll get across the 40 and run out of bounds around the 47 or 8-yard line, and that's a nice pickup on first down. That's the 43-yard line.
Randy,
that is, so a gain of about 6 yards.
You know, last week we didn't have Barrett Weaver in the game because of an illness, and he's continued to be out this week. He is suited up and has been in on one play for the Roos so far tonight. But tonight, Mike McDaniel is taking Barrett's place for the most part over here on the left corner and did a good job of tackling that time.
Second down and 3.5. Inside handoff, and immediately on top of the ball carrier is Danny Merritt.
Boy, Danny just, he saw that handoff coming and he wrapped that fullback up in a hurry, didn't he?
That is stacked up for perhaps a yard gain. We'll have a third down play for Azle.
And it looks like the Roo defense is kind of figuring this option out, Randy, and are getting comfortable reading which players are going to get the ball. So be nice to see them stopped here again on third down.
Third down from the flex bone. Here is Betts running to the right. He's going to keep it, and he'll get the first down up around the 49-yard line, and he's knocked out of bounds by Chuck Wilkie.
Boy, Chuck put a hit on him that time, and we had Jeremy Day and Craig Boney and Kane Riddle all out there stringing that play out, making it hard for the Azle Hornets to get anything there.
1st and 10 from the 49. And we saw the Kangaroos successfully shut down the spread of Boswell last week. And they have 2 shutouts in a row. And right now, I think we're around 12 quarters since anyone scored. Here's Barella with it, and he pitches it back to Hoover. Hoover looks like he's was trying to pass right there, and then at the last second shoots upfield. He'll get a yard at midfield. And a nice defense there by the Kangaroos. I was just talking about the defensive secondary against Boswell, and they did a good job of fooling the Pioneers last week. You know, a lot of times you would see the cornerbacks, Mark, come right up on Boswell's wide receivers, and then like it was man for man, then at the last second you'd see them drop off in their cover 3, and they were also rotating, and they did a good job of disguising what they were doing when they had their nickel package out. So here is Betts. 2nd down, the pitch out will go to Barella across the midfield stripe down to the 45. A couple of good cuts there. Actually, that's Chad Hupsey with the ball. And they'll have a 3rd down play and about 4 yards to go from the Kangaroo 45.
Randy Michael Branch out on that right-hand end position, doing a good job of making the quarterback pitch. Probably made him pitch quite a bit earlier than he wanted to there. And we just missed a tackle or 2, or we'd have had him right where we wanted him. So still 3rd and long here, 5 or 6 yards to go.
Big play, 3rd and 5 from the 45. The handoff will go to Barella, and he's got good speed. He will go across the 40 and get away from Garrett Hudson right at the line of scrimmage and make it down to the 35. Well, that was a nice-looking play for the Hornets.
Sure was. Had Mike McDaniel and Craig Boney joining up on the tackle there, Randy, but Barella showing a pretty good amount of speed there as they came with that counter move against the Roo defense.
The Roos are using their 4-3. Here is the play going to the right side, and quickly the Sam linebacker, Jeremy McClure, comes up and gets Betts as he kept the ball running to the right side for about a yard.
Well, we had Wilkie and Keith Such in on that tackle also, Randy. Just a good job of by the Roos of not tackling the runner with just one tackler, but they're hitting them with 3 or 4 every time.
Ryan Rippey will come in for Azle. Now, he's a good receiver. They've got him in at tight end. He's a good blocker also. Let's see what they do here as they have a flanker to the right side. He's in motion. That is Barella, and Betts will go that way. And he's going to throw a pass. It's going to be intercepted, and that is Borland with it. And he is still on his feet around the 30. At the 35, he is finally held by the ankle. And another interception for the Kangaroos, and they stop him again deep in Kangaroo territory. That interception was down around the 20-yard line, 25-yard line, right in that area.
And Randy, that looked to me like it was Shane Weeks in there rushing the quarterback and made him throw that ball much earlier than he wanted to. Actually, I believe hit him while he was throwing the ball and made that interception possible for Borland.
Well, you know, when you get down around the 35 or 30 of the Roos, that's when they tighten up. And we have seen them stop teams all year long, just like that. Here is the first play, Zach Moore. He will escape one man at the line of scrimmage as he spins around and goes to his left, and it cuts in over his left tackle. Gets about 3 yards up to the 39, and that is interception number 10, Don Legale. Is that correct? Amazingly, the Kangaroos have 10 interceptions this year, and Zach Moore has not been intercepted a single time. And I believe the last time I looked, the Roos had thrown 67 passes this year, and that is an amazing statistic.
Well, very good decision making by Zach Moore at quarterback.
Here's the I formation for the Roos from their own 39. 2nd down and 6. The ball will go to the first man through. That is Garrett Hudson, and he'll cross the 40 and get up to around the 43 as he spins around, trying to get away from a couple of the linemen there for Azle. In there was number 77, Well, you know, I don't have 77 on my roster, but I do have number 42, and that's Eli Nobles.
You know, Don was commenting earlier that we haven't seen Garrett carry the ball so far tonight, and I believe maybe Coach McBroom's kind of saving him up here. He's liable to unleash Garrett, and they won't know what have hit him then.
6:19 to go in the second quarter, 14-0. Third down and a yard and a half for the Roos. And here is Moore, and he makes a great cut across the 45 and up to midfield before he is tackled by Tifton Christ.
Well, Randy, the Roos have got 6 minutes left in this quarter, and you sure would like to see them go ahead and grind out another long drive here, kind of wear the Azle Hornets down and go into halftime here with a big lead, 21-0.
And the Roos have not given up a point in almost 12 quarters. The defense has certainly turned it on here in the stretch drive. First and 10, the ball is just inside of the Hornets side of the field. Here's a pitch out to Pierce. Midfield, 40.
Here we go again.
30, 25, and all the way down to the 22-yard line. And finally, somebody gets him by the collar. And had not Chad Huffsey been able to grab that collar, we would have seen Mark Pierce.
That would have been
another
number 3
touchdown
right there,
run.
wouldn't it? Boy, I tell you what, he just barely got marked by the back of that jersey and just barely hung on.
Let's back up and give Zach a lot of credit. Zach looked like he was going down, probably on his way down to the ground. Suddenly the ball goes up in the air, and Pierce is there to get that pitch as Moore is falling to the ground.
That's one of the best pitch outs, I think, Don, we have seen all year long from the Kangaroos. I formation. Again, Pierce into the line. This time he's going to be stopped about the line of scrimmage. He may have gained a yard just inside the 20 of the Hornets. We're down to 5:26 to go. You're listening to Kangaroo Football on KZ 1220, the Sports Center.
Well, Don, that was a good comment about that pitch, because actually I thought it was a fumble when it first came popping out there, and then of course it hit Mark in the hands just like it was intended, and but it sure looked like a fumble at the beginning.
We'll have a second down and 9 now for the Roos, trying to add to their 14-0 lead. I formation, they have 2 receivers out. Zach Moore will take it. He'll give it to Pierce again, and Pierce will drive inside the 15 as they go to the left side behind
well, that's Brad
Tillion.
That's Simmons and Jason Such over there on that left side right now, Randy, and just doing a good job of blowing out that left side of the Azle line.
Well, and Mark, Azle's really still keeping it kind of confused. You're not seeing much of a hole. We're holding our blocks as best we can, but we don't see that kind of gaping hole that we saw at points earlier in the game. So they've got it clogged up pretty good.
Third and 5 for the Kangaroos. The offset will be to the right side. Here is Zach Moore, and he's going to go to the right. He's got a hole as he crosses the 10, the 5, and he's diving for the corner. Did he make it? Yes! Another Roo touchdown!
Now, Randy, that's nothing but pure speed. Zach took that ball and he went around that that right end before most of the Azle defense knew that the ball had been snapped.
You know, and I still think those first few steps he might be quicker than Mickey Peters. You know, he's not as big as Mickey last year. He's about 175 or 80 pounds. And I think Peters was around 190 to 195. But he jumps to the outside as quick as any quarterback that we have seen in quite a while. And he turned it on. He was not going to stop until he reached the end zone, and he just dove into the corner. And the Kangaroos have a 20-0 lead. And the kick by McClure will be up. And
Randy, we'll give you one more thing. We did have a change on that drive. We had Cash and Carlisle working at the wide receiver spot on that right side, and both on Pierce's long run and on Moore's touchdown there. He did a great job blocking on that outside. So Cash and Carlisle seeing a little change in the wide receiver spot for that drive.
Well, we'll keep it right here. The score is 21-0. And the Kangaroos, they don't look any different this week, ladies and gentlemen, than they have the last 8. And right now, they are strapping it to the Hornets. It's 21-0. And, you know, if they were looking to stop Mark Pierce, the Hornets have not come close to doing that. And they haven't stopped Zach Moore either.
wouldn't you think at this stage of the game, Randy, being down 21-0, that Azle's going to have to pitch that game plan that they came in with of ball control and trying to cram it down the Roos' throats? Looks like they'll have to at least try some passes at this stage of the game, and with as much wind as there is tonight, that's sure going to give the secondary of the Roos some good opportunities, I would think.
Well, passing is not their forte with that triple option attack. They definitely want to keep it on the ground, and they've got some good backs. You watch Barella run out there. He's got a lot of speed and talent. He's a hard man to bring down. A lot like Mark Pierce, he usually breaks the first tackle. And then Kyle Hoover, when he's got his hands on the ball, has looked dangerous. And we've seen Betts move down the line on that option and get some good yardage. So they've moved the ball, but again, you have to get in the end zone, and the Kangaroos are just not allowing anyone in there. Here is the kick. It will go along the ground, bouncing several times.
There we go,
And still bouncing around, and finally picked up around the 15-yard line. And there's Shane Weeks. And immediately is on Josh Wilson right there at the 15.
Boy, Shane just fought his way through that. Those blockers did a great job of getting right in on the ball carrier, and he just wrapped him up.
You see Shane Weeks and also Kane Riddle out there. They're not big guys, but it seems like they're always around the ball. They're very aggressive players, and they're also great blockers. You know, Kane Riddle, one of the best blockers, I think, on the offensive side, along with Shanahan, and they come in so low. It would be rather frightening to have them come in at your ankles and knees with the kind of velocity they have from the line of scrimmage. Here's the first play for the Hornets, and they've got maybe 2 yards out to the 17-yard line. And a pitch out, and that's quickly stopped.
Craig Boney doing a good job out there of turning the ball carrier back into the center of the line, and got a lot of help from the Roos. Scott Safford and several of the Roos coming in to clean that tackle up. It looks like out here on cornerback, Randy, we've got Barrett Weaver coming into the game for a while.
Well, that's nice to see Barrett back out there again. He has been under the weather for several days. He was actually in the hospital for
There
a
we
while.
go.
And here's a handoff in the backfield that will be stuffed immediately. And the Kangaroos, the Kangaroo Crunch defense refusing to budge in this game right now. And that is stuffed at the 19-yard line. We'll have a third down at about 7.
Jared Tidwell doing a good job of not going for that fake and coming in for the tackle. Looks like we've got our nickel defense in right now, Randy.
Third and 7 for the Hornets. They'll bring one receiver to the right side. That is Casey Crow. Betts is a quarterback in motion is Barella. Betts will roll to the right side. He'll stop, throw a pass over the middle. That will be complete to Casey Crow. I don't think it will be a first down. He looks like he's stopped at around the 25, and I believe that was Barrett Weaver to come over and make the tackle.
Yeah, that was Barrett. Looked like we were kind of in a man-to-man defense there, and Barrett just chased him all over the field. But before the throw, Randy, Jeremy Day out here on the left end doing a good job of containing the quarterback, not letting him roll all the way out to the right like he would like to roll out. Jeremy turned him back into the middle and made him throw and gave the Roos a chance to hold him.
2 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the second quarter, and the Kangaroos well, it looks like the Hornets are going to go for it right here. This could be a huge play. Here's the handoff, and it will be a first down as it goes to Kyle Hoover. And they give it to their big, tough back Hoover to get the yardage. And they just blast it over the right side.
Well, Randy, surely the Azle coaching staff working on giving the Azle Hornets a little confidence there is they've kind of challenged them down there on the Route 25, going forward with just a yard or so on fourth down.
First down from the 27. Betts keeps the ball, tries to go to the right side, and immediately he is going to be stopped. There is Safford coming in. You know, but Tidwell was in there very quickly and almost had him, and he tried to run away from Tidwell. He ran right into the arms of Safford.
And if Scott had missed him, Jeremy Day was right behind Scott. So Roos just doing a great job of reading that triple option right now, Randy.
And they'll have a lot of practice this week, as we'll see the same thing from Northwest next week. They will actually run a tighter wishbone than what the Hornets are running. Here's Betts going back to pass. He's at the 20-yard line, shoots one. And it is almost intercepted by Weaver. Barrett was right in front of Barella. He should have had that one. That was right in his chest.
It looked like we might have had a little offensive pass interference there.
Well,
what do you say, Don?
What you say, Barrett had the line on the pass. He's standing in front of the receiver and blocks the path of the ball, puts it right in his chest, but it's just about the time he's catching the ball, the receiver strips him. And so strips it right out of his hands, and not enough time holding on to the ball to get the completion, or he was on his 5th interception of the year.
1:09 to go in the second quarter. It's 21-0. The Kangaroos leading. Azle. Hornets now 3rd and 11 from their own 27. Barella is in motion. Betts is back to pass again. He's under pressure. Here's a nice pass. And it's almost intercepted this time by Shane Weeks, who got a hand on it around the 40-yard line.
Shane tracked that ball all the way, watching the quarterback's eyes, tracked it all the way in, and did a good job of tipping it away from the receiver at the last minute. Looks like the Roos are going to get the ball back with just over a minute to go.
Garrett Hudson will go back on with Borland. And the Hornets will punt this time.
You know, Randy,
4th and 11.
Last week against Boswell, the Roos had 2 long punt returns, so I'd like to see Garrett do the same thing right here.
Here's the snap and the kick, and Hudson will have a chance at it. He's got it at the 40. He's going to run the right side, and now he's going to come upfield. He finds a slide hole and breaks across the 40 to the 45, and the Kangaroos will have very good field position here with just 54 seconds to go in the first half. They lead it 21-0.
Well, you sure like to see the Roos start off, Randy, with only 55 yards to go to the goal line. Now, they only have 54 seconds to do it in right now, but as we have seen in the last couple of drives, the Roos only need about 10 seconds to score.
Well, they don't want to do anything foolish right here and allow the Hornets a chance to get back in it, so they will have Zach back to pass. There's a slide pattern, and it's complete to midfield, maybe the 49, and I believe it was Shanahan, and it was?
Yes, that's right. It was
Shanahan on the reception. Gain of about 6 yards for the Roos. We're down to 46 seconds.
Looks like the Roos are going to take a timeout right quick and talk this over. Picked up 5 yards there, and so they're in a position to try to get down. I guess what's the longest that our field goal kickers kicked a field goal so far this year, Don?
I believe 35 yards is the longest one. You know, we haven't missed one. McClure is 3 for 3 in the field goal department.
Now
Little Jack Horner sat in the corner. Sure, smoke that much pot, and you'd be paranoid too.
In the early days of Parker County, the courthouse and square was the focus of activity. Education was important. The first high school was built in 1885 on the north end of the block, now occupied by the City Hall. The White Junior High was constructed on the site of the old Central High and was used until the new South Main School was available.
We are named Weatherford National Bank because we are Weatherford. From the rodeo to the Peach Festival to Christmas on the Square and everything in between, you'll find us there sharing in the rich heritage of Weatherford and Parker County. Come by any of our 5 offices located throughout Weatherford and Aledo, where you'll find free checking with overdraft protection, full-service mortgage department, extended lobby hours, and even Saturday banking, all the services that our customers have come to expect. Weatherford National Bank, member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
It'll be 12 quarters. They shut out Boswell, and before that, shut out Springtown. And then Brewer scored their touchdown, I believe, in the second quarter. Okay. So they shut out Brewer the last 2 quarters. And then they had 4 quarters each against Springtown and Boswell. And now 2 more. Here is Moore from the shotgun. He's going to be tackled about the line of scrimmage as he just takes it and tries the quarterback draw. A gain of maybe 1. Time running down, 35 seconds.
Looks like the Roos called 2 plays while they were on the sideline here.
Again, the shotgun, the spread formation out there with 4 receivers out for the Roos. Here's Moore. He's going to throw one high. It's a wobbly pass, and it will go out of bounds as Mark Pierce was down there, and the Hornet fans believe that Pierce pushed Ryan Gomez down, but that pass was not catchable.
Yeah, I think we're looking for something to complain about right here, Randy. That really wasn't a play to get too excited about.
19 seconds to go in the second quarter. The Kangaroos are leading it, and they will have to punt here. Don't want to give the ball up around midfield and let something very dramatic happen, such as a Hail Mary or something like that, with only 19 seconds left. So they will bring out Garrett Hudson to punt, standing at his own 41-yard line. Here is the snap. And there's a beautiful punt. Very high spiral. And it will be caught at the 15 by the Hornets. And they will have just a few seconds left. That was Chad Huffsey. You know, that was a dangerous thing to do here with just a few seconds left, to go back and try to fill that punt. But Huffsey was able to catch it at his own 15.
Randy, based on last week's punting performance by the Roos, that safety just about had to catch that ball, because the Roos pinned Boswell inside the 10-yard line a couple of times last week, and that ball, had it bounced, probably would have had the same result.
Well, with just 11 seconds left, we'll see Betts come under center, and he will hand it off to the fullback, but immediately there is Tidwell on top of him at the 15. No gain on the play. And the defense, you look at the Kangaroo defense, the run defense this year, they have been allowing just 169 yards per game. And the pass defense, the Roos are at 105 yards a game. So the Roos have given up an average of 274 yards a game this year, and that's been steadily going down as the defense has been putting up shutouts here in the last few weeks.
Well, they just continue to get stronger each week, and they get stronger as the game goes on too, Randy. So that's really a big plus for the Roos. And it looks like Azle's decided they want to go to the locker room and just talk about it.
That will end the first half of play. The score, Weatherford 21, Azle nothing. We'll be right back with Don Legale and his halftime stance, and we'll also talk with Mark Reedy, and we'll have a lot of information about the Kangaroos for this year. We'll talk about also the possibilities coming up in Division I Class 4A playoffs right after we pause for a couple of minutes.
Your hometown bank teams up with your hometown Kangaroos to provide the support for a successful athletic year at Weatherford High School. Texas Bank, a proud sponsor of the Kangaroo Stadium scoreboard, the Sports Medicine John Deere Gator, and the new athletic training complex. Texas Bank makes the commitment to our student athletes to place them in the winner's circle. Backing our Kangaroos, banking at Texas Bank. Member FDIC, an equal opportunity lender.
You can find yourself living in the middle of breathtaking beauty among the wildlife of Texas at Silverado on the Brazos. This upscale, low-density equine residential development has a world-class arena, 200 box stalls, and professional trainers on site. Spectacular building sites in the Brazos River. Boating, hiking, trail riding, and coming soon, an 18-hole championship golf course. To choose your beautiful home site, call 817-341-7770.
It's always someone else's kid who smokes marijuana. Someone else's kid who's messing up at school. Someone else's kid who's having trouble at home. But what happens when someone else's kid meets your kid. Talk to your kids about marijuana before someone else does.
Well, so far tonight, Mark, not much has hurt the Kangaroos.
One of the things the Roos are lined up here on this kickoff, they've got all their hands players up front. Maybe expecting Azle to have an onside kick to start the second half.
Well, here it is. It will go back to the 20-yard line, and Shanahan has it. He's running to the left, and he will slide down at the 26. So the Kangaroos will be out across the 25 to get the third quarter underway. And we're going to thank Don Legale for his halftime stats. And as you all know, Don does have a sealed envelope here predicting the final outcome of this game. And he has, it is not vague, Mark. He said he has put down specifics. It is not going to be a Nostradamus type of prediction. So we're all looking forward to that here at the end of today's game. First and 10 for the Roos from their own 26. We have movement in the line to start the first play from scrimmage here in the third quarter.
Randy, while they're sorting that out, let's take a look at a few of the Roo offensive statistics. We've got a graphic showing 42 rushing attempts per game so far, and a total of 318 rushing yards averaged so far this year. Total offense for the Roos per game is 365 yards. That's a pretty big amount of yardage for any offense.
Well, the penalty was against the Hornets, and we'll have a 1st and 5 for the Kangaroos at the 31. Here's the handoff inside, and there is a fumble, and the Azle Hornets have got it at the 35-yard line. Well, that is not the way the Kangaroos wanted to start the third quarter. And a fumble right at the 35. They're going to call it the 34, so the Hornets will have it. And let's see if they're going to be able to take care or take advantage of this field position.
Well, the Roo defense has come out. Looks like they're ready to get after them and hold them early in the third quarter.
Morella's in motion. The handoff will go to Reggie Hill. He has some good blocking across the 30 and then down across the 25 and out of bounds. Gain of about 10 or 11 yards on that play by Reggie Hill.
It's Shane Weeks and Chuck Wilkie combining on the tackle there as they drove the runner out of bounds, but he did pick up quite a bit of yardage there, Randy, on that first play. It looks like about 9 yards.
They'll mark it inside the 25. So the Kangaroo crunch defense are going to have to do something big right here at the beginning of the third quarter. Here's one to Barella inside. He'll get down to around the 21-yard line, and he is strapped hard right there. As coming in is Shanahan.
And we had Scott Safford and Keith Such in there on the tackle at that time also, Randy.
And so this turn of events for the Hornets has got all of the Azle Hornet fans up. 11:02 to go in the third quarter. It's 21-0 Weatherford. Now one receiver wide to the right, and this will go to Barella at the 20. Cuts inside to the 15. He's down to the 10-yard line, and he may have made his way inside the 10. Again, we have Kangaroos over there to make the tackle, and it is Keith Such, one of the Roos there. Now we have Danny Merritt going out.
Well, Randy, we are down to 1st and goal now. Fortunately, though, the Roos have the entire 10 yards to go, or the Azle Hornets have to go an entire 10 yards to go. So Roos have some margin of error here.
Here's the quarterback across the 5. I thought he was going to pitch it out to Barella, but he kept it on the wishbone as he goes to the left side. And now they have a 1st down inside the Kangaroo 5. So a good response to this turnover by Azle. And they are trying to end 12 quarters of shutout ball played by the Kangaroo defense.
Well, it's time for the Roos to really get after them right here, Randy.
First and goal from the 5. Hand off to Barella, and he is going to be stuffed at the 5-yard line.
Well, he got hit hard in there by Keith Such and Michael Branch, and also Jeremy Day came flying across from that left end position, did a good job of holding them, and that puts us to 3rd down, and still about 4 yards, 3.5 yards to go, Randy.
Well, they'll give the Hornets about a yard on the play. 2nd and goal from the 4. They come out with a wishbone formation. And this time Hill will keep it. Here is the quarterback, Kyle Betzel. He goes on in for a touchdown as he goes around the right side and cuts inside his own tackle. And the Azle Hornets are on the board now with 9:12 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Well, not much you can say about that drive, Randy, except that the Azle Hornets came out knowing that they had a chance to turn the momentum around in this game, and they took advantage of the opportunity given them.
Well, we were talking about how well the Kangaroos played in the first half, not turning the ball over. Here is the extra point attempt. It is up, and it is good. So it is Weatherford 21, Azle 7. We'll be right back in a minute.
Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep. Well, duh. That's what happens when you get stoned.
Teamwork. That's what it's all about in football. The teams that win championships always work together. It's the same in banking. The folks at First National Bank of Weatherford work together as a team to provide the best service possible. We're the best bank in town because of teamwork. We treat all our customers as a VIP because to us, everyone is important. Come by today and see what teamwork can do for you at the First National Bank of Weatherford. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Here at Green's Florist, we strive to please our customers. Come by and see our large selection of silks, plants, cut flowers, balloons, and novelty items. Established in 1957, we're the oldest family-owned florist in Weatherford, having over 55 years of combined experience with a friendly and knowledgeable staff. We're located at 701 North Main. Give us a call at 594-2733, and we send flowers worldwide.
Kangaroos now lead at 21-7, and we just had Gene Phillips come in, the athletic director for the Azle Hornets, and he's got a big smile on his face suddenly. As the Azle Hornets pick up a fumble, and Don, where did the Hornets pick up that fumble? At the 34-yard line, and the Hornets just drive it right on in, and we have a 4-yard run by Kyle Betts, the quarterback, and a good response by the Hornets. And Mark, they needed to take advantage of that opportunity if they were going to get back in the game.
Well, they did the things that all championship teams do right there, Randy. They took advantage of a miscue by the Roos, so it's time for the Roos to get that momentum back.
Here's the kickoff, and it goes back to the 10-yard line. Here is Pierce with it.
Here we
20,
go. Here
40.
we go.
He's at the 40. He's out to the 45-yard line, and Pierce almost broke that kickoff all the way. And a saving tackle, I believe, by Kyle Hoover.
Randy, he just got in the crease there and just kept running, and that was a good description. That was a saving tackle right there. Mark Pierce doing a good job of making up for that earlier miscue.
Well, he was trying to get to a wall on the right side, and he made it over there and made his cut. Typical Mark Pierce run there on the kickoff. 9:01 left in the third. Here's a pitch out. This will go to Pierce.
Oh,
he's got some good blocking. He's at midfield, and he will cross the midfield stripe and move down to the 47 of the Azle Hornets as they came student body left this time.
Well, Randy,
some good blocking on the left side of the line by the Roos.
We had Sean Bridges and Garrett Hudson and Colt Borland all out there leading the blocks, but the guy who really made a A terrific block that time was Zach Moore as he came around that left end after pitching the ball out, and he just flattened one of the Azle Hornets.
8:23 to go in the third. It's 21-7.
There we go.
Here is Zach Moore, and here is the draw play. He'll get across the 40-yard line and will be tackled at the 38.5 of the Hornets, and suddenly the Kangaroos are down on the Azle side of the field. In a good return by Mark Pierce, good run by Mark Pierce, then a nice draw play by Zach Moore.
Well, Randy, this shows you what you're made of. After a team scored on you, what kind of response do you make? And the Roos have come out with a lot of fire right here.
First and 10 from the 38.
Go, Garrett, go, Garrett.
Hudson.
That's it.
30.
That's a touchdown.
He's at the 20.
Get there, Garrett.
At the 10, and he's going to be tackled around the 2-yard line. And that's that quick hitter right up the middle, and he broke clear around the 25 of the Hornets, but a couple of the defensive backs for Azle had an angle on him, and they closed from each side, and they were able to get him inside the 3. Let's call it the 2-yard line.
Well, now it's time to just power it on in from here, Randy.
And now the Roos are answering back. First and goal from the Azle 2. And Zach Moore will try to just punch it in. Quarterback sneak, he won't make it. He's going to be stopped inside the 1, it appears.
Well, he's real close down there right now, Randy. They did a good job. They made another yard, maybe a yard and a half, so they're real close.
7:15 left in the third quarter. The Azle Hornets come out and get a touchdown quickly and get right back in the game. And they let Mark Pierce get off on a nice kickoff return. And suddenly the Roos are right at the doorstep. Here is a pitch out to Pierce. He's going to get in easily. But we may have a penalty flag here against the Kangaroos. Perhaps a crack back block on this play. He did get into the end zone. There's a question. And Mark Pierce thinks it's against
they're waving it off.
And they're going to wave the flag off. That is a touchdown for the Roos, and they're up 27-7.
Hey, Randy, here's the confusion that occurs. You see the official's watching the blocking, and he thinks that the wide receiver came in and made that block. But it's Moore making the block. The quarterback's coming around and making the block. And he thinks the receiver has come inside and made the block.
And I think he had to sit there and look and see who Zach Moore was before he made his decision. And he made the right decision. Here's Jeremy McClure to add the 28th point. And the snap is good, and the left-sided guy sticks it right through. And the Kangaroos are up on top 28-7. You're listening to Weatherford Kangaroo football. We'll be right back in a minute.
Honey, can you pay these bills? It won't take you very long if you use Texas Banker Online.
Sure. Girls, I'll be right back.
Texas Banker Online, a simple and secure way to bank over the internet with no service charge. Now you can pay bills quickly and conveniently from the comfort of your own home with Texas Banker Online.
That was quick.
Yeah, that Texas Banker Online is really simple. Whose turn is it anyways?
Texas Banker Online, a product from Texas Bank. Plug in now.
Those who dive lightly into the market today soon discover that when opportunity swims side by side with peril, it is easy to lose all sense of direction. The riskier the investment environment, the more you need the fixed income strategies of Cummer Moyers Capital Advisors. Is your investment advisor recommending Cummer Moyers for $19.99? Cummer Moyers, managing money, earning trust.
Pete's Place, this is Egan. May I help you? On June the 1st, 1976, it was my opportunity to walk in the front door of the Pizza Place in Weatherford, Texas. At that time, you could get the lunch special, which is a small cheese pizza, a salad, and a drink for only 95 cents. There's been a lot of things that have changed in Weatherford, Texas in the last 23 years, but there's one thing that's always remained constant. The Pizza Place and the Weatherford Kangaroos have always been a perfect combination.
4 to go in the third quarter. The Kangaroos are leading 28-7, and we talked about the Azle Hornets having a good response after they recovered the fumble at the Weatherford 34. You have to say, Mark and Don, that the Kangaroos came right out and just deflated everything that the Hornets did there with a great response of their own.
And not only the 55-yard drive once we took possession of the ball, but remember that kickoff bounced very high, and Pierce picked it up at the 5-yard line, brought it all the way up to our own 45. So we had 40 yards on the kickoff return. So a great job starting on the kickoff return.
Borland will hold the ball for Jeremy McClure, and McClure hits it right straight up the middle of the field. And the return man for the Hornets will get it, and he is going to be tackled at the 29. And over there was Shanahan again. Kane Riddle was back there, also Cashin Carlisle.
Yeah, a great job by the entire Rue kickoff team of getting down quickly on the ball carrier and stopped him before he got to the 30.
Hornets will start at the 29, and, you know, we look at some of the dances that some of the Kangaroo players do. You know, Cashin Carlisle, he has kind of a twisted chicken dance. I don't know if you've noticed that. And you have to say that Andy Cope does a funky chicken dance when he makes a tackle. Here's the first play for the Hornets. Right side, and Chad Huffsey will take the ball, and he'll move out to the 35-yard line, a gain of about 5 yards.
Well, now, Randy, I'll have to tell you, I think that the guys have picked up on the comments that we've made since they've been watching the tapes and things. They've heard you talk about some of these guys acting like mad storks. I think that's Andy Cope's mad stork.
Is that what that is? Well, he was flapping his wings. I thought it was a chicken, but if you say it's a stork, that's fine with me, because they certainly appear to be the mad storks. Here's a handoff across the 40-yard line. So go to Barella, and it will be a first down at the 41-yard line.
Boy, Craig Boney doing a good job in there for the Roos, Randy. Craig's getting double teamed at that middle linebacker position, and he's shedding those blocks and still able to come in on the tackle. So the Azle Hornets have figured out they've got to stop Craig if they're going to have any yardage.
First and 10. Here is Barella.
Get out
and
there.
He's in trouble quickly, and he's going to be stopped for a big loss. And back is Michael Branch, and also there is Darrell Clay. And Darrell, you know, whenever you see anybody tackle someone high, you almost are ready to look for Branch and Clay. Clay likes to jump on their back, and Branch is about 6'5". He just automatically goes for the shoulder pads. And Barella tried to get away, but somebody handed him the pads. It was either Branch or Clay to begin with, but they were both back there, and that's a big loss of about 7 yards. The ball is back to the 33.
Yeah, I think Michael and Darrell had this thing. Michael just holds him, and Darrell jumps on him, so that's pretty good teamwork.
Second down and 17 for Azle. Here is Kyle Betts rolling to his right. He's going to try to throw a pass. He makes a good run across the 35 as he just gets away from Jeremy Day. And of course, Jeremy Day is one of the mad starts out there, and he dove and got right past, or just almost had Kyle Betts at the line of scrimmage.
You're right, Randy. He didn't quite make the tackle, but Jeremy did a great job of containment that time, and which is what his job is out there on the left end, and forced quarterback back inside instead of letting him continue to roll to his right where he could throw the ball.
So we're going to have a third down and 11 play, and you know, Mark, I was watching the films of the last game, and Jose Antillion made one of the most beautiful fumble recoveries in that game last week, and I just almost think that he has been in his backyard working on that fumble recovery, because he was just going full speed. He dove, got the fumble in midair, and then did a beautiful somersault, a 360, and it's one of the more beautiful fumble recoveries I've ever seen, and you got to give Jose Antillion a lot of credit.
You bet. That was.
I give him a 10.0 on that one.
You're giving him you're judging him like a diving competition or gymnastics, huh?
I just don't want to. I think a lot of kids smoke pot. I feel like I'm the only one who doesn't. Why do I have to be so different? Different. Maybe we're not as different as we think.
First National Bank of Weatherford is excited about the 1999 Weatherford High School season. Since 1880, The First National Bank of Weatherford has provided friendly and reliable service to the folks in Weatherford and surrounding area. We wish all of the players, cheerleaders, band members, and fans success in all they do in 1999. Come by and visit with your personal banker at First National Bank of Weatherford, member FDIC and equal housing lender. In the early 1900s through the 1950s, Weatherford was known as the watermelon capital of the world. Farmers brought wagon loads of large melons to sell to visitors passing through the square. The watermelon that most people remember being in Weatherford was this one on the south side of the square, constructed for a parade around the courthouse. Weatherford was the watermelon capital of the world.
And it looks like the nickel package out there right now. Don, is that correct? We've got, we've got Boney out. We've got Clay in along with Chuck Wilkie. And here's a quick handoff inside. This might be a first down, and it will be as we have a draw play to Huxley. He'll get across the midfield stripe and down to the 49. It was a nice play and a good move and a good hard run by Huxley of the Azle Hornets that time.
Yeah, that was a hard run, and Roos did a good job of getting him stopped there before we had any more damage. But we've seen the Roos bend here a little bit in this quarter. It's time to go ahead and shut them down right here.
And you know, Mark, that was the correct play for that nickel package. It took a lot of courage to run against the Roos the way they have been stuffing the Hornets. And they will stuff the Hornets on this first play as Huxley gets it. He'll get 1 yard.
Well, it looks like on first and second downs, Randy, that we're seeing the Roo line, defensive line, start to dominate the Azle offensive line again, and that's what we've seen consistently over the last couple of games, both on offense and on defense. Our line's really taking control of the game, and that's what we need to do right here.
Second down and 9 for the Hornets. We have a stoppage of play right now, but you know, the Kangaroo defense the last couple of weeks has not been as static as it was earlier in the season. We saw them put 6 or 7 men on the line against Boswell last week, and we saw sacks, and we saw a lot of pressure on Litke, and I think they're experimenting a little bit more in the last 2 or 3 weeks than what they were earlier in the season. Second and around 10 yards to go, and here is Kyle Betts, and he's going to be trapped in the backfield, and there is
Jeremy Day.
Jeremy Day, and there it is, folks. You see it. That is the Mad Stark flap by Jeremy Day, and a loss of about 3 or 4 yards on the play.
Well, you know, Jeremy has played a lot in this game tonight, Randy, and has done an excellent job over here on the left defensive end.
Third down, 14. Betts in the shotgun. He's going back. He's trying. He is under pressure again. He's trying to find a receiver, and that is Jeremy Day back to get him again. About the line of scrimmage, he's going to dive forward for 1 yard. He could not find a receiver and decided to take off running. And, you know, Jeremy Day, the reason we call them the Mad Starks, they just take up the entire field. They are all arms and legs. You can put Andy Cope in there, Branch also. And those defensive ends for the Kangaroos can cover the entire field.
Scott Safford did a great job of running the quarterback out of the pocket that time and just ran him right into old Jeremy. Great play by the defense.
Hornets will have to punt. Punt goes back, and it's fumbled by Garrett Hudson. He is able to pick it up around the 11-yard line. Boy, that was a dangerous-looking play right there, because right down on top of Garrett Hudson was one of the Azle Hornets, but Garrett was able to beat him to the ball at the 12.
Well, Garrett did a good job of staying with that ball, even though it bounced out of his hands. He kept his eyes on it and stayed with it till he had it firmly in his grasp there.
Well, Jason Irvin has been doing the punting for Azle, and he is not their regular punter. I think their regular punter has been out, and he's not getting the best distance on some of these punts, and they're not getting a lot of height either. And Kangaroos have had some opportunities to return them.
Oh, fumble!
And here is a fumble on the first play, and And the Azle Hornets have got it. 14-yard line.
Well, Randy,
I don't know if Zach Moore ever had that ball. I think he probably did have it, but it was stripped quickly, and I don't know if somebody came in and hit him or if it was just knocked out of his hands by one of the offensive linemen.
Well, here we go with the defense.
Let's see what happens now. The Kangaroos have got to get the Kanga crunch defense going again.
Attaboy,
And
Craig.
here it is. Craig Boney coming in, and he'll stuff Kyle Betts for a 9-yard loss.
Now that's a championship response right there, Randy. When something goes against you, you just bow your neck and get after them. And Craig Boney had an opening there, a wide open hole, and he shot the gap, and he just closed on that quarterback before he had time to do anything.
And Betts looked up, and all he saw was a big 8 and 5. Just about even with his eyes. He's only about 5'8". And Boney just put a big bear hug on him, and down he went. Loss of 8 yards. Now here's an inside handoff. Going to Barella. He'll get down to the 15-yard line, and we'll have a third down and about, let's say, 10 yards to go for the Azle Hornets.
Well, we had the whole defensive line in on the tackle there, Randy. We had Michael Branch and Scott Safford, Jared Tidwell, and just the entire line in there for the tackle that time. You can tell the Roos are pumped up here. Craig Boney's excited, and they're ready to stop them here on third down.
28-7 is the score. The Kangaroos are leading. 1:19 to go in the third quarter. Here is Kyle Betts. He'll go back to pass. He has a receiver. Line, and it is complete, but that's not going to be a first down. Around the 12 is where they will mark it. Nice reception by Casey Crow, and he was sandwiched by the Roos. Able to hold on to it, though.
Boy, Mike McDaniel put a lick on him that time. And that's the kind of pass play the Roos will let them have all day long. That 3-yard pass when they need 10 yards. No problem with that.
He was in the flat near the sideline on the north side of Hornets Stadium. So fourth down, about 7 yards to go. Betts is back to pass, throws one over the middle. He's got a completion. Will it be a first down, though? It's around the 5. I don't think he's got the first down. He does not. He's going to be tackled about 1.5 yards short, and I didn't see the man, Don, that came up and made the tackle on the receiver there for the Hornets, but it will not be a first down. That was Brandon Humphreys who made the catch, and Brandon Humphreys had a big catch last week in their win over Northwest, but this time he'll come up short, and the Roos have held inside their 10 again.
What a response by the Roo defense there. Just a great job of standing up and everybody doing their job.
Yeah, the red zone defense coming through again for the Kangaroos. They have stopped their opponents about 50% of the time, and here's the first play, and again, the Kangaroos having trouble. Either they're having trouble with the snap right now, or perhaps Zach Moore's trying to move out from behind center a little too quickly, but they fumble it, and Zach Moore is able to get on it at the 6.
Well, Randy,
7 seconds to go in the third quarter.
We're just trying to get a little more open field here to run with, so backing up just a little bit.
And the Kangaroos lead at 28-7, and that will run out the third quarter. We'll take a break right here. This is Weatherford Kangaroo football on KZ 1220. We'll be right back.
Honey, can you pay these bills? It won't take you very long if you use Texas Banker Online.
Sure. Girls, I'll be right back.
Texas Banker Online, a simple and secure way to bank over the internet with no service charge. Now you can pay bills quickly and conveniently from the comfort of your own home with Texas Banker Online.
That was quick.
Yeah, that Texas Banker Online is really simple. Whose turn is it anyways?
Texas Banker Online, a product from Texas Bank. Plug in now.
Dennis Connolly and Associates at Weatherford Physical Therapy have been serving and supporting Parker County since 1982. Their new location is at 1404 South Main, next to the Golden Moon, Weatherford's only privately owned rehabilitation clinic specializing in physical, occupational, and speech therapy. The latest in equipment demonstrates their commitment to quality personal care. For all your sports medicine, spine, and orthopedic rehab needs, call 341-3600. Weatherford Physical Therapy Services.
Hi, I'm Shannon Carney, and this is my sister Stacy of Vic Cressman and Carney.
Hi, this is Laura Cressman from Vic Cressman and Carney.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Vick of Vic Cressman and Carney.
Together, we are Vic Cressman and Carney, and we support the Kangaroos.
Oh yeah, there is that other Vic Cressman and Carney, and they support the Roos too.
The Kangaroos are 1 quarter away from being the outright district champions in 8-4A. First time since 1981. They will be in the playoffs. They will be a Division I team. Things are setting up in Division I in Class 4A in Region 1. That seems to be something the Kangaroos will like, with, again, Ryder appearing to be the team they will face in the first round. Kangaroos have a second down and 10 from their own 5-yard line. The handoff will go to Mark Pierce, and he will again find a good hole. He'll get out across the 10. It'll be a gain of 4 yards. They'll mark it at the 11-yard line as we get the fourth quarter underway.
Yeah, Mark just went right off of left tackle there with that play. Had Bradley Simmons and Michael Branch doing a good job of opening a pretty good size hole there. And Mark picked up a quick 5 yards. We need to do that again here, and we'll have a first down.
3rd and 6 for the Kangaroos. Out goes Lagali. We got Borland in. He split wide to the right. And in the backfield, it's Kane Riddle, Garrett Hudson, and Mark Pierce with Zach Moore, the quarterback. And here is Pierce. He's breaking tackle.
Here we go.
He's at the 30.
Turn it on.
40. He's at midfield.
Out of way, push him off.
He's at the 30-yard line. He's down to the 20, and they're going to say he stepped out of bounds somewhere around the 30-yard line.
Well, we had a flag there, Randy. I'm hoping that was a face mask the way it looked.
Well, I wasn't sure if that was a face mask call or if the ref was trying to mark where he stepped out of bounds. We'll see. But Mark Pierce quickly broke again over the left side, and that would be Bradley Simmons on the left side, along with Jason Such.
Yeah,
they opened up a good hole for Mark, and he almost broke that one all the way. He was held up a little.
And Sean Bridges is the tight end on that side on that play, Randy, and Sean did a good job of driving his man backwards, and Mark went just right on the inside of Sean, and he was off to the races when he got around that.
That is a long run. I have to ask Don Lagali exactly how long that one was. The ball is down at the 24. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Kangaroos at the Azle Hornet 24. And they just give it to their big man, and he shoots through the hole. And when he gets through there cleanly with a good head of steam, he is tough to bring down. And here he is, Pierce again. He'll cross the 20-yard line, and that will be a gain of about 5 yards for Mark. We're down to 10:49 to go.
Randy, I'm looking at number 67 for Azle here. He's the nose tackle for Azle, and he's got to outweigh Michael Ross. I'd say at least 50 pounds. And at the end of that play, Michael Ross gets up off of the chest of number 67 and helps him up. So he is definitely winning the war. Oh, Michael Ross is.
2nd and 5 for the Kangaroos from the 20-yard line of Azle. They have 2 receivers to the right side. Here is Moore trying to find a hole.
Inside.
He does make a good cut across the 15, down to the 10-yard line, and inside the 10. And it will be 1st and goal for the Kangaroos at the 8 of the Azle Hornets.
Well, Randy, we talked about the Roos getting stronger and stronger as the game goes on. And here in the fourth quarter, there are a lot of Azle Hornets laying around on the ground after the play, and the Roos are are really on the march here.
And the Hornets have got to wonder what on earth is going on, because the Roos have given them a couple of opportunities with fumbles, and they're no closer than what they were at half. The score is 28-7, and now the Roos have got a chance to get them down by 4 touchdowns. First and goal from the 8. Here's a quick handoff to Garrett Hudson, and he's going to be stacked up at the line of scrimmage. You know, Garrett Hudson last week in that touchdown run he had, I think it was a 28-yarder. The defensive tackle for Boswell came in and stuffed Mark Pierce and Zach Moore. They faked inside to Mark Pierce, and he thought that he had stuffed the play. He was laying on his back about where Mark Pierce would have got the ball on the handoff, and right over him goes Garrett Hudson crossing back the other way, and he just goes right over his face, and the guy gets up and he just kind of looks around like, what on earth happened? And there goes Garrett Hudson in for a touchdown. Second and goal for the Roos. Here's Pierce at the 5. Nope. That was Zach Moore keeping it. I thought they handed it off to Pierce, and this time Zach will be stacked up again around the line of scrimmage. We'll have a third down and goal for the Roos.
Zach doing a good job of protecting the ball that time. He was real close to fumbling that ball, but he brought it in close to his body and made sure that we hung on to it down here. And we really need to go ahead and punch it in and kind of put Azle away.
Well, Bradley Simmons must be making some extremely good blocks over there at left guard. A lot of holes on that left side tonight. Shotgun formation, third down. Here he is, Zach Moore. The snap, he's going to run to his left. He's being pursued. He's looking for someone to throw the ball to. Finds someone in the end zone. It's going to be intercepted, and he will kneel down in the end zone and will come out to the 20-yard line, and the Roos will not get anything on this as Reggie Hill, or I believe Kyle Ware, who made the interception. And that, ladies and gentlemen, in the fourth quarter of the 9th game of the season, is the first interception of Zach Moore of the season. Amazing.
That is amazing, Randy. Zach has made real good decisions so far all year long, and just had a little bit too much time there. He was scrambling around, and the Azle Hornets had just a chance to figure out what was going on and got open for the interception.
First and 10, the handoff will go to, I believe, Kyle Hoover or Michael Barella, and he'll get a couple of yards as he crosses the 20-yard line. We're down to 7:56 to go in the game. The score is 28-7. Kangaroos on top. Kangaroo fans over on the south side of Hornet Field, they are beginning to feel this championship season. Kangaroos, 3 touchdowns up. They will be the champions, unless the Hornets can come up with 21 points here in the last 7:35. Here's an inside handoff that will get out across the 30-yard line. That's the fullback with the ball. He broke through the initial surge around the 25, and that will be a first down. And carrying the ball that time for Azle, that was Kelly Sullivan.
Well, Randy, the time's going to run off the clock awfully fast for Azle if they continue with this running attack. And looks like the Roos have got Barrett Weaver back in out at left corner, probably anticipating that Azle will try to throw that ball some.
Here's the next play, and right at the line of scrimmage, we have a broken tackle, and then coming in real hard is Chuck Wilkie, and he stuffs the ball carrier around the 34, and then we have a couple of flags come up as it appears there's some late hitting going on.
Randy, Darrell Clay caught the ball carrier around the ankles and let him stay upright just long enough for Chuck Wilkie to really knock the snot out of him there. So
I'm Troy Noel. I was married to Brad Noel, the singer of Sublime. Brad died of a heroin overdose. Jake's been robbed of having a wonderful person to be his father. Educate yourself. Heroin kills, period. We miss him, and we'll miss him forever, and don't let anyone miss you.
Weatherford National Bank, growing with Weatherford. We started in College Park and continued to expand into 5 offices located throughout Weatherford and Aledo. No matter where you live, chances are that you are close to one of our offices. Take advantage of our customer-friendly services. Free checking with overdraft protection, full-service mortgage department, extended lobby hours, and even Saturday banking. Weatherford National Bank. We kept growing until we became a part of Weatherford's history. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Trinity Paint and Body, owned by Bo Winstead, is located at 1600 Fort Worth Highway. They are known for their fast and superior service. Since opening in April of 1998, they are already having to expand their existing location due to the high volume of business. For great hometown service and a friendly staff, call Trinity Paint and Body, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. And remember, for high-quality service, Bo knows.
You're not alone in that regard.
20-yard line is where they will place the ball, and we have a penalty against the Azle Hornets. Kangaroos are 7 minutes away from being the district champions of 8-4A, and they will definitely want to go home next week and keep the ball rolling against Northwest. We'll see an offense similar to this one, except it'll be much tighter. Here's a pitch out right side. This is, I believe, Reggie Hill, and he is off to the races at the 30-yard line of Weatherford, and finally run down from behind. It is Reggie Hill, and he's one of the fastest of the backs for Azle, and the last man out there was able to tackle him for the Kangaroos.
That was Gerald Clay that ran him down from the back, and looks like the referees are talking about something out here. We might have had a flag.
Well, the Azle Hornets are moving back upfield. In fact, they are all the way back across midfield, and perhaps we do have a flag.
Your hometown bank teams up with your hometown Kangaroos to provide the support for a successful athletic year at Weatherford High School. Texas Bank, a proud sponsor of the Kangaroo Stadium scoreboard, the Sports Medicine John Deere Gator, and the new athletic training complex. Texas Bank makes the commitment to our student athletes to place them in the winner's circle. Backing our Kangaroos, banking at Texas Bank. Member FDIC, an equal opportunity lender.
Know what that feels like to have a long run called back by a holding penalty or clipping penalty, so it's good to see
and we
shoe on the other foot here.
We have not seen too many holding penalties against the Kangaroos in the last 2 games. Here is Kyle Betts on a keeper around the left side, and he'll cross the 30-yard line, and again we have a couple of flags go down as the play is getting a little rough out there here in the fourth quarter. 28-7 is the score. The Kangaroos are leading. You know, might as well mention this too. A lot of the teams in 8-4A have accused the Kangaroos of cheating. They say that the coaching staff of the Roos situates itself on the sideline so that the stadium lights reflect off their bald heads and actually blind their opponents. And I am sure that the UIL will come up with a ruling on that shortly, Mark.
We'll start making them wear hats or something.
Well, you can take all the hair on the heads of the Kangaroo coaches and put them end to end, starting at the goal line. They would not get out beyond the 3-yard line. That is for sure. We have a second down at about 5 for the Azle Hornets, and again we have another penalty play as we have illegal procedure against the Azle Hornets.
Randy, that play wasn't going anywhere anyway because Craig Boney stepped right up in the middle of the hole, and he was fixing to really, he was really going to put that running back on his back.
Well, you know, one of the things that we hear, I talk and have spoken with all of the head coaches in 8-4A over the years, and the one thing you hear, Mark, is the tremendous respect that everyone has for this coaching staff at Weatherford, and I just hope that all the Kangaroo fans understand what we have. We have just an excellent staff, and when you talk to the other coaches in the district, here's one that'll be stuffed near the line of scrimmage. When you talk to the other coaches in the district, the first thing they start talking about is Larry McBroom and the coaches at Weatherford and how well they prepare their team and the game plans that they put together.
Yes, the Roos really are prepared, and they do a good job of going out and executing. That was a good example on that play, Randy. The entire defensive line slid along to the right along with the play, and were able to stop the Azle Hornets with virtually no gain on that play.
3rd down and 9. Again, Betts with the ball. He's going to pitch out at the last moment to Barella. Barella will move across the 35 and 40 before he's tackled. And there is Jeremy McClure.
Boy, there's some hard hitting going on out there.
Well, they are fighting it out right now with 5:15 to go. Neither team is backing off.
It looks like that'll be enough for a first down, though, Randy. Time continues to run down. We're down to 5 minutes and 15 seconds.
Mark, this is one of the problems that you have when you have that triple option attack. You get this far behind this late, your chances of pulling something out are very remote because you're just not a passing team, and you still have to kind of work your way downfield. There's a option to the left side, and Kane Riddle comes in, and also there is Keith Such. Boy, Keith Such is a tough, quick linebacker, and he was back there quickly. And you know, Kane Riddle, for his size, he's one of the toughest guys on the field.
Yeah, Kane really does a good job. He uses all the assets that he has 100% while he's out there on the field. And of course, his biggest asset is his speed, Randy. He really can get to the ball carrier in a hurry.
You know, and I want to see Michael Branch over here on the right side make a big play and see his Mad Stork impression. Here's one up the middle for about 5 yards. It'll cross the 45 and out to the, let's call it the 47-yard line of Azle. We'll have a 3rd down play and around 7.
Randy, you know, Azle's bound to be in that situation where they're playing 4-down offense right now. They're going to go for whatever they have to on 4th down because they don't have anything to lose. We're down to less than 4 minutes in the ball game. And so the Roos are going to have to stop them two downs in a row here.
3rd and 7. Here come the Hornets out. We have a stoppage of play for just a moment. We're down to 3:43 to go in the game. Weatherford Kangaroos.
Can I have a puppy? What do you mean Girl's never coming back? Why does she get to stay up? Where do babies come from?
Did you smoke marijuana when you were my age?
The older they get, the more complicated the questions. Here's how to answer.
First National Bank of Weatherford is excited about the 1999 Weatherford High School season. Since 1880, the First National Bank of Weatherford has provided friendly and reliable service to the folks in Weatherford and surrounding area. We wish all of the players, cheerleaders, band members, and fans success in all they do in 1999. Come by and visit with your personal banker at First National Bank of Weatherford. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Dun it, dun it, dun it, dun it.
They dress him up like a ghost and he's looking through and it's Halloween and he's walking around like this.
My parents told me to go swimming and I was like, no.
You love watching movies, and Blockbuster thinks you should be rewarded for that with Blockbuster Rewards, where the more movies you rent, the more free ones you get. Plus, get a free Blockbuster Favorites movie every month.
He got on top of that bomb just like it was a horse. He was going to ride that rascal all right on into where it was going.
Join Blockbuster Rewards today and go home happy.
We'll have a third down and 7 for Azle at their own 47-yard line. Well, they got it marked at the 46. They'll have 2 receivers out, and they'll be in the flex bone. And here is a pitch out. This goes to the left side by Barella, and he'll get good yardage across the 50, the 45, and the 40 before he's run out of bounds. Here you see some of the speed that Barella has.
Randy, the Azle Hornets have not given up. I mean, they are still doing everything that they can out there. It's good. It's just been a good contest between the two teams for the entire 4 quarters.
Well, they're playing just as hard right now as what they were playing when they started out back at the beginning of the game.
We saw several teams kind of lay down at the end, and the Hornets have definitely not done that.
First and 10, and right up the middle goes the fullback this time across the 35 down to the 30-yard line. And that is a nice run as we see number 40 with the ball.
Shane Weeks in there on the tackle.
The ball carrier was John Morris.
We've got Danny Merritt coming back into the ball game. He's second and short.
We're down to 3:10. We'll have a second down in round 2. The wishbone this time with Kyle Betts, the quarterback.
Oh, what a good
immediately
tackle.
Kyle Hoover is hit near the line of scrimmage. And the Kangaroos are playing just as tough as they started out also. And again, we see Jeremy McClure there, and I think Boney may have been in on that tackle.
I think Jeremy Day, we had a pair of Jeremys in on that play. Clock keeps running down.
Third down and about 2. They'll give them a half a yard on that play. The Hornets will stick with their wishbone. And they are just methodically moving it downfield, and I think the Kangaroos don't mind this at all. Here's the fullback with it. He keeps it on the mesh this time, and he'll be stopped for only a yard. See if they're going to give him the first down here. They'll mark it at the 28-yard line, and it will be a first down.
A good job there by Scott Safford and Craig Boney combining on that tackle.
.216, .215, .214, down it goes.
Well, now, Randy, the Azle Hornets scored in the third quarter, right? So where we are right now is the Roos are starting off another string of unscored quarters. How do you say that?
Of scoreless quarters.
Quarters on which we have not been scored on.
You're absolutely correct, Mark Reeby. 2:07 left. Let's take a 30-second timeout. We'll be right back with more Kangaroo football in just a minute.
They dress him up like a ghost and he's looking through and it's Halloween and he's walking around like this.
My parents told me to go swimming and I was like, no.
You love watching movies, and Blockbuster thinks you should be rewarded for that with Blockbuster Rewards, where the more movies you rent, the more free ones you get. Plus, get a free Blockbuster Favorites movie every month.
He got on top of that bomb just like it was a horse. He was going to ride that rascal all right on into where it was going.
Join Blockbuster Rewards today and go home happy.
We are named Weatherford National Bank because we are Weatherford. From the rodeo to the Peach Festival to Christmas on the Square and everything in between, you'll find us there sharing in the rich heritage of Weatherford and Parker County. Come by any of our 5 offices located throughout Weatherford and Aledo. You'll find free checking with overdraft protection, full-service mortgage department, extended lobby hours, and even Saturday banking, all the services that our customers have come to expect. Weatherford National Bank, member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Kangaroos are 2 minutes and 7 seconds away from the championship. 1981, the last time. They have a chance to equal the 1965 team's 9-1 record. reeled off 9 straight wins. Here's the next play. Kyle Betts with a ball, and it goes up in the air, and it falls down at the 20-yard line. And down there at the 19 to make a fumble recovery is one of the Hornets. And that was a fortunate bounce of the ball as David Shearer was right there. He turned around and looked, and all of a sudden he was 10 yards from the play and looked up. The ball was laying right next to him. He just fell on it.
Well, sometimes you're in the right spot at the right time, Randy, and typically a fumble of that kind of distance is going to go to the defense, but the Hornets were awful lucky there to hang on to that.
So it's second down and around a yard and a half. Here's Barella. That's inside the 20, and he may have got back to the line of scrimmage. There was Shane Weeks to jump on him. And also, Jeremy McClure was there. And let's see, Clay on the bottom of that pile.
Well, we had Jared Tidwell in on that tackle also. Randy, Shane Weeks just came flying around that left end, chased the runner all the way from the left side of the line over to the right side, and did a good job of tackling.
Third down, about a yard and a half to go for the Hornets. They trail by 3 touchdowns. Here's an inside handoff down to around the 17-yard line. It'll be very close to the point needed for the first down.
Jason Such and Scott Safford combining on that tackle. And I think Don Legale told us earlier that Azle was out of timeouts. And we're down to 4th down and 27 seconds, 26.
28-7 the score. The Kangaroos will be looking for their 9th straight win next week. And they've got a week to celebrate their championship. Here's Kyle Betts going back to pass, and the pass will be incomplete around the 10-yard line. We've got 6 seconds left, and that was a 4th down play, so the ball will be turned over to the Kangaroos at the 18-yard line, and the Kangaroo fans on the other side are really enjoying this now. And you can just look on that south sideline and look at those faces and look at the amount of energy that's being expended on the bench. And, well, they're not on the bench. They're all standing up. And, boy, what an exciting moment this is for the Kangaroos and for all of their fans. And I know Don Legale and Mark Reeby and myself are all happy to be a part of it, as they are just 6 seconds away from the championship. Here's Zach Moore, and he will kneel down, and we'll see the clock run off. It's 3, 2, 1.
It's official.
And the Kangaroos are going to be the champions for the first time since 1981. And listen to the Kangaroo crowd over on the other side.
Boy,
they're
really
celebrating the field as a lot of the student body are coming out. None of these players, most of them, I don't believe any of them, in fact, were born the last time that Weatherford won a district championship.
Well, that's just a great experience for these players. They have worked hard. They have really put out this last year, starting back in December and January, and they have certainly earned this right to be district champions.
Well, we've got Gene Phillips in, and his team played well tonight. 28-7 the final score, but the Hornets, as we mentioned, were playing tough all the way, and had they been able to take a little more advantage of a couple of the bobbles there by the Roos in the third quarter, this one might have been a little scary right at the end. The final score, 28-7 tonight. We are at Hornets Field in Azle, where the Kangaroos have taken the 8-4A district championship. A lot of excitement still down on the field. We see the Kangaroo banners fluttering in the breeze. And as we mentioned, a lot of the student body and all the Kangaroo fans on the other side are still in the stands.
There's a lot of proud moms and pops over there on that other side.
And perhaps this will be a long string of championships beginning here in 1999. Let's take a break. You're listening to Weatherford Kangaroo Football on KZ 1220. Your Sports Center will be right back.
ISD, Weatherford High School, and the entire Weatherford community, we want to tell you how very, very proud we are of you for what you've accomplished for the first time since long before you guys were born. 1981, the last time. We now have... that you know how to take the first step on a journey that has not ended and is not about to end yet. This is the first step that you're taking on a journey that does not quit until the state championship game is...